When you think about what makes someone stay in love, it's rarely the big cinematic gestures. It's the quiet, intimate moments that linger. One of the most powerful ways to bond with a man, to make him feel truly yours, is through appreciation. You see, so many people in relationships underestimate the power of a few sincere words whispered at the right time. But men, more than most will ever admit, crave to feel recognized and valued. They don't always ask for it, they don't always say they need it, but it runs deeper than you imagine. And when you're the person who gives him that feeling, it leaves a mark on his heart that he won't forget. Think about the world he lives in every day. He's constantly being measured by his success, his ability to provide, his strength, his decisions. Out there, he might be respected, he might be challenged, but rarely is he appreciated for the effort he makes just to be present, to try, to love, to support. When you whisper words like, "I love how you always show up for me," or "I feel so safe when I'm with you," you're not just complimenting him. You're giving him something he doesn't get anywhere else. You're creating a space where he feels valued not for what he achieves, but for who he is when he's with you. And this matters more than you think. Because appreciation isn't just about stroking his ego. It's about touching something inside him that is often neglected. When a man feels genuinely seen by the woman he loves, when he hears her appreciation whispered softly in a way that feels intimate and real, it settles into his heart in a way nothing else can. It tells him, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to fight for approval. You don't have to win here. With me, you're already enough. That's a form of emotional oxygen for him. Now, don't mistake appreciation for flattery. Flattery is empty. It feels rehearsed, predictable, like something you could say to anyone. Appreciation is precise. It's detailed. It's when you notice the small things he thinks nobody sees. Maybe it's how he rubs his temples when he's tired but still listens to you. Maybe it's how he fixes the little things around the house without even mentioning it. Maybe it's how he puts effort into making you smile after a long day. When you whisper those observations, when you say, "I love how you always take care of the little things," you're telling him you actually notice him. That's what stays with him. And here's where it becomes transformative. Because once he knows you appreciate him in this way, he wants to give you even more of himself. It fuels him to keep showing up, to keep being present, to keep pouring into the relationship. It's not manipulation, it's inspiration. A man who feels consistently appreciated by his partner is a man who will move mountains for her, not because he feels pressured, but because he feels proud to. The truth is, appreciation is like a secret language, whispered in the quiet moments, when you're lying next to him, when you're holding his hand, when you lean close and let your voice soften. It lands with even more force, because whispered words bypass the noise of the world and go straight to the soul. You're not announcing it to the world, you're offering it to him privately, and that intimacy is what makes it unforgettable. So many relationships fade because people stop expressing the very things that made them fall in love in the first place. But when you keep whispering those words of appreciation, when you remind him over and over that he matters, that you see him, that you value him, you're not just making him yours, you're making him want to be yours forever. There's something almost timeless about the way men respond to admiration. It's woven into their nature. This deep desire to feel like the hero in the eyes of the woman they love. The world doesn't always give them that. Out there, they're expected to perform, to compete, to prove themselves. But admiration at home, whispered softly in moments of closeness, feels like a refuge. It tells him, with me, you don't have to fight to be noticed. I already see you. And that is a gift more powerful than you might realize. When you whisper admiration, it's not about exaggerating or pretending. It's about letting him know the ways in which he inspires you, the qualities you genuinely respect, the little things that make you look at him and think, I'm lucky you're mine. You might admire his courage when he makes a difficult decision, his patience when life gets messy, or even the way he stays playful and light when things feel heavy. Men hold on to those whispers like precious treasures because they remind them that they are more than just their roles or responsibilities. They're someone who is valued, respected, and even looked up to by the person whose opinion matters most. And here's the beauty of admiration. It doesn't have to be grand. In fact, it's often the smallest, most specific observations that pierce straight through. Saying, "I love the way you handle challenges. It makes me feel so proud of you," can give him a confidence he never shows the world. Or whispering, "You make me feel so safe just by being here," makes him stand taller, not out of arrogance, but out of the reassurance that who he is makes a difference. These words create a sense of belonging, a certainty that with you, he is not just accepted, but celebrated. Every man has a part of him that longs to be seen as capable, strong, and desirable in the eyes of his partner. And when you become the one who gives that to him, he associates his sense of worth with being with you. It's not that he needs endless validation. It's that admiration fuels his desire to keep being the best version of himself. When you admire his effort, he wants to give you more effort. When you admire his strength, he feels stronger. When you admire his heart, he opens it even wider. You're not inflating him, you're unlocking him. Think of how rare it is for men to hear these words. Friends may joke with him, colleagues may challenge him, even family might expect things from him. But few people actually pause to say, "I admire the way you are." When you whisper those words, especially in an intimate moment where no one else is listening, you're giving him something priceless. You're giving him a sense of home. He feels like with you, he doesn't have to constantly prove his worth because you already see it. And when a man feels admired, everything shifts in the relationship. He becomes more affectionate, more attentive, more invested because admiration doesn't just build his confidence. It deepens his connection to you. It makes him want to keep earning that look in your eyes, that softness in your voice. When you whisper the words that remind him he's your hero, it turns love into loyalty, passion into devotion. So when you lean close and let those words slip from your lips, when you whisper how much you admire not just what he does, but who he is, you're giving him more than a compliment. You're giving him the fuel to love you with everything he has for as long as he lives. There is a kind of magic that happens when two people step beyond the surface and allow themselves to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is what turns a relationship from something pleasant into something profound. For so many men, the world has taught them to keep their guard up, to hide their weaknesses, to always appear strong and in control. But when you whisper words that reveal your own vulnerability, when you let him see the tender parts of you, you give him permission to drop his armor too. That's where the deepest bond begins. Imagine leaning close and saying something as simple as, "I feel so connected to you right now," or "Sometimes I'm scared of losing you, but being with you makes me feel safe." These aren't just words. They're windows. They open a part of your heart that isn't always visible, and that kind of honesty makes him feel trusted. Men don't just want to be admired for their strength. They want to be chosen as the one person safe enough to see behind your walls. Whispering your vulnerability shows him that he's not just your partner, he's your safe place. What happens in that moment is subtle but powerful. He no longer feels like he has to perform for you or pretend that he's unshakable. Instead, he realizes that the love between you is not built on perfection but on honesty. When you whisper, "I love when I can just be myself with you," you're reminding him that the relationship is not about masks but about truth. And when a man knows he can be fully himself with you, flaws and all, he will guard that connection fiercely. There's a tenderness in vulnerability that ignites intimacy like nothing else can. Physical closeness is one thing, but emotional nakedness is another. whispering your fears, your hopes, your gratitude. It all builds a thread that ties you closer together. It tells him, I'm not just here for the easy parts, I'm letting you into the raw parts of me too. That's what makes a man want to stay forever, because he knows he holds a piece of you that no one else gets to see. The beauty of vulnerability is that it creates balance. Often, men feel the pressure to always be strong, to always be the rock. But when you whisper something vulnerable, you allow him to soften too. He doesn't have to carry the weight of always being invincible. He gets to breathe, to feel, to share. And in that moment, he realizes this isn't just a relationship, it's a partnership. You're not just leaning on him, you're also inviting him to lean on you. That kind of exchange builds an unshakable trust. And here's the part people often forget: vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. It takes strength to whisper, I need you, or you mean so much to me. Those words carve themselves into his memory because they remind him that he matters in ways that go far beyond surface attraction. They remind him that he's not just wanted, he's needed. And for a man, that's one of the most powerful emotions he can feel. So the next time you're with him, don't be afraid to let your voice soften and let your heart show. Whisper the truths you might hesitate to say out loud. Whisper the things that make you human, the things that make you real. Because when he hears that, when he feels the depth of your openness, he won't just love you, he'll treasure you. Vulnerability is the secret that transforms love into forever. There is something incredibly powerful about the way our words can shape not just the present, but the future of a relationship. When you whisper words that project into tomorrow, you're not just making a sweet comment. You're planting seeds that grow into roots. A man who hears you speak about the future in a way that includes him feels a sense of permanence, a sense of belonging that goes far beyond passion or attraction. It tells him that you don't just see him as part of your now, but as part of your forever. And that changes the way he holds onto you. Imagine being close to him, maybe in one of those quiet moments when it's just the two of you, and you lean in and whisper, I can't wait to grow old with you, or I see us building so much together. These words aren't just romantic, they're grounding. They create a vision, a shared dream that he begins to believe in because you've spoken it. Men are often driven by purpose, and when you tie your words of love to a future with him, you give him one of the strongest purposes of all, the desire to build a life with you. It's easy in relationships to get caught up in the present. Who's texting? Who's calling? What's happening this weekend? But when you whisper something about tomorrow, next year, or the decades ahead, you're giving him a reason to see the relationship as more than a moment. You're creating a horizon. And once he feels that horizon, once he hears you imagine it with him, it pulls him toward you in a way that temporary attraction never could. He doesn't just feel like your lover, he feels like your partner in destiny. There's also something incredibly reassuring about future whispers. Life is full of uncertainty, and relationships can sometimes feel fragile in that uncertainty. But when you say things like, I see us lasting forever, or I know this is just the beginning for us, you give him security. You calm the quiet fears that every man has, the fear of not being enough, the fear of being temporary, the fear of being replaceable. Whispering the future silences those doubts and replaces them with confidence. He doesn't just hope you'll be there, he hears it in your words. And what's important here is that these whispers don't need to be grand or overly serious. Sometimes the most powerful future whispers are playful. You can laugh and whisper, I can already imagine us annoying each other when we're old and grey. Or, I can't wait to see you teaching our kids your silly jokes. These aren't just dreams, they're bonding moments. They make him smile, but they also sink deep because they tell him you're not just here for today. You're imagining life with him in all its phases, and that is exactly what makes him want to stay and turn those whispers into reality. The truth is, Men long for that sense of being chosen, not just for a season, but for a lifetime. Whispering about the future is how you give that to him. It's how you take a fleeting romance and turn it into a love story. And when those words are spoken softly in a way that feels intimate and true, they echo long after the moment passes. They become memories, promises, and guiding stars that he carries with him. So never underestimate the power of a future whisper, because when he hears you speak in a way that ties him to tomorrow, he won't just love you in the moment, he'll fight to be the man who walks beside you for all the years to come. There's a reason why the most unforgettable words are often the ones no one expects. Too often in relationships, we fall into patterns, repeating the same, "I love you," or "I miss you," without realizing they've become routine. Of course, those words still matter, but what makes a man's heart skip a beat is when you notice and whisper something about him that no one else has taken the time to see. That's the secret behind the unexpected compliment. It's not about saying what he expects, it's about catching him off guard with recognition of something uniquely his. Think about it for a moment. The world rarely praises men for the small things. People might applaud a promotion, an achievement, or a milestone, but they rarely notice the everyday details that actually reveal who he is. When you whisper, "I love how you laugh at your own jokes," or "I adore how focused you look when you're driving," you're giving him a gift he doesn't get anywhere else. Those words tell him you're paying attention, not just to the big, obvious parts of him, but to the subtle quirks and habits that make him who he is. And that kind of compliment is unforgettable because it feels deeply personal. The unexpected compliment has another effect too. It makes him feel special in a way that nothing generic ever could. Anyone can be told they're handsome or strong, but when you whisper something like, "I love the way you listen when I talk, even to the little things," you're speaking to something he probably thought went unnoticed. That moment becomes a mirror, showing him the parts of himself that he didn't even realize were worthy of admiration. And once he hears it, it stays with him. He'll think of that whisper long after it's been said, because it wasn't just a compliment. It was proof that he matters in the most intimate ways. The magic of unexpected compliments is also in their timing. Imagine being close, leaning into him during a quiet moment, and instead of the usual, "I love you," you whisper something playful like, "I love the way you get so serious when you're explaining something. You're adorable." Or maybe after a long day, you surprise him with, "I love how calm you stay even when things get stressful. It makes me feel safe." These aren't rehearsed lines. They're observations born out of noticing him. And that's exactly why they land so powerfully. Men carry silent doubts more than they let on. They wonder if they're truly enough, if they're seen, if their efforts matter. Your unexpected compliments cut through those doubts like sunlight through clouds. They reassure him in ways he won't always admit he needed. And because they come whispered in private, with no performance and no audience, he knows they're real. He knows they're not for show, they're just for him. That intimacy is what binds him closer to you. And here's the part that deepens the connection even further once he realizes that you see and appreciate those small, overlooked things. He'll want to give you even more of himself. He'll feel inspired to keep showing up, not because you demand it, but because he knows you notice it. That kind of encouragement is addictive. It makes him want to love you harder, protect you stronger, and stay by your side longer. So when you think about what to whisper, don't settle for the obvious. Look at him closely. Notice the details no one else mentions. Find those little habits, quirks, and expressions that are uniquely his, and let your words surprise him. Because in those unexpected compliments lies a truth he will never forget, that you see him fully, and you love him not just for who he is in the spotlight, but for who he is when no one else is watching. And that is what will make him yours forever. One of the most beautiful truths in love is that staying with someone is never about obligation. it's about choice. Every day, we either consciously or unconsciously choose the person we want to give our heart to. And when you whisper words that remind him he is still your choice, even after everything, you give him a feeling that's rare and deeply reassuring. Imagine leaning in close, looking into his eyes, and softly saying, "I'd still choose you even today." That simple phrase carries more weight than 1,000 rehearsed declarations, because it tells him you're not with him out of habit or circumstance. You're with him because you truly want to be. Men carry an unspoken fear of being taken for granted. They may not voice it, but they wonder if, over time, they'll just become the background to your life, someone you love out of routine instead of passion. That's why these whispered reminders are so powerful. When you tell him you'd choose him again, it dissolves that quiet fear. It reassures him that your love isn't passive, it's active, it's alive. It's a decision you keep making. And in hearing that, he feels something stronger than comfort. He feels secure. Think about the way it feels when someone tells you they love you not because they have to, but because they want to. That difference changes everything. Love by obligation feels heavy. Love by choice feels freeing. When you whisper, "I'd choose you in every lifetime," or "I'd still pick you over anyone else," you're giving him the greatest gift you can offer, the certainty that he is not replaceable in your eyes. That's the kind of truth that makes a man want to stay loyal, want to fight for the relationship, want to keep showing up as the person you chose. The beauty of reminding him that you choose him is that it renews the romance. Relationships can easily drift into autopilot. The same routines, the same exchanges, the same safe phrases. But when you whisper something that reignites the idea of choice, you bring back the energy of the beginning, the spark of when you first fell for each other. It's like telling him, out of all the people in this world, out of all the possibilities, I'd still pick you. And that makes him feel like he's winning your heart again, even now. Men thrive on knowing they're wanted, not needed out of necessity, but wanted out of desire. Your whisper becomes proof that he isn't just there because it's convenient, but because he still excites you, still inspires you, still captivates you. And when he feels that it fuels him to give back, he becomes more affectionate, more intentional, because he knows he is not just your partner by chance, he is your partner by choice. What's even more powerful is the timing of these words. Whisper them when he least expects it. In the middle of a quiet night, after a long day when he's feeling worn down, or even in a playful moment when you're laughing together. The surprise of hearing, "I'd still choose you," in those ordinary moments makes it unforgettable. It tells him that your love isn't conditional on moods, circumstances, or perfection. It's steady, unwavering, chosen again and again. And here's the lasting impact when you remind him of your choice. You also inspire him to keep choosing you. Love becomes a cycle of conscious decisions, not just assumptions. He'll want to keep earning that choice, to keep showing you that you were right to pick him. And that is what creates a love that endures, because it's not resting on the past, it's being renewed in the present. So don't underestimate the power of whispering that truth. Let him know that if you had to start all over again, if you had to make the choice today, you'd still choose him without hesitation. Because in those words lies the deepest kind of love, the kind that doesn't just stay, but stays because it wants to. And that is the kind of love that lasts forever.